Welcome to Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show here with Franciscan University men's basketball coach Joe Wallace and assistant coach Adam Otello. We're here at the Spark Bar. Some famous sausage sandwiches here today, and best part of today so far is that my partner Raymond's not here, so I get to talk a little bit more than I normally do. But both good to have both you guys, and haven't seen you guys for a while. And I know about 9 days ago you guys came off with a really good win and against W&J. And what were some good moments and parts of that game for you guys?
Defensively we were as good as we've been all year. I mean, our discipline, the tenacity, communication was really good. We did a nice job with understanding the game plan. The guys were able to take that to the game and understand the kind of actions that we were going to be guarding. Offensively, in the half court, I thought we did a nice job. You know, we kind of did some tweaks with our offense. I thought the reads were there. We didn't get to the free throw line enough. I thought we did a nice job driving. We just weren't creating contact. But the one problem that we had is that we turned the ball over a decent amount of times against their press, and that's what kind of kept them kind of on our heels the whole time. And we pushed it to 10, or the lead went to 10 with 4 minutes left, and we kind of felt like we had them rattled at that point, and the pressure got to us. We had a couple young mistakes on some turnovers. So, but at the end of the day, you know, Josh Zimmerman made big-time plays at the end of it, made his free throws. Sawyer Butler, you know, a freshman step in the line in a key moment, hit both of his free throws, and we were able to, you know, seal the deal.
And I know, talking to you after the Chatham game that, you know, you're pretty disappointed in defensively, your team. So, to come back with the win and be happy with that. So
yeah, you go back to that Chatham game, and we were I was furious just with the way the lack of competition that we had. We weren't competing, and we were after the game. You know, coach is sitting there, we're going through all this stuff, and then instead of us just being mad, I was like, well, we got W&J Wednesday. And it's like we honestly went upstairs and we all sat there and started watching, started game planning for them. We kind of turned the page quickly, and practice was pretty heated Monday to make sure they got the point across. But yeah, they did. But the coaches, we just flipped the page really quickly because we felt good if we could handle the press, which we did at times. Not good enough in our opinion. We think we can do better with that. But we felt like we get that game in the half court, we can win, and that ends up what happening. Yeah.
And when we compare your style from last year to this year a little bit, you're more of a half court style. Once again, I know Coach Raymond and I really like the Butler. Looks like he has some true point guard experiences. Is it hard to shift from going up and down, playing a lot of players, to not as many and playing more of a half court?
That's a good question. Personally, no, because the heart of how I want to coach, I like the way we're playing now. But we've we talked about that on the show before. I mean, Coach Martello talked about it last or 2 weeks ago about we're going to fit the style to what our talents, is. And I think as this group continues to get better in the half court, what it's going to lead to is playing faster, because the more stops we're able to get, the faster we can go. And we're not against pressing and keeping things at the full court, depending on matchups this year. But we really wanted to instill that blue collar tough mentality in the half court, and it's getting better. It's not anywhere near where we want it to be, but we're seeing it in these practices that we've had through this little break. We've been able to really reinforce that even more, which has been nice.
Coach Martello, guys have had like a 10-day long layoff here.
Yeah,
so
feels like a month.
How's that been, with practice and not being able to play? Because this part of this season, I'd rather play than practice.
Yeah, no doubt. I think as far as practice goes, practice has been super competitive, high energy, honestly, every day that we've practiced. We gave them a couple of days off, at the beginning of that break to kind of get them right again, get their bodies feeling better and stuff. But I mean, they came back Monday ready to go, honestly, and that's tough to do through finals week. They're studying long hours, they're up late, but every day the energy's been great, focus has been really good, competition's been really good, and so it feels like 30 days because we haven't played, but I think if you came in the gym, you wouldn't know that. Just from the how vocal the guys are and what the energy level's been. And I think honestly, it came at a good time, with finals week, and also, we had a tough stretch of physical games.
Yeah.
And it was a good break for these guys to get recovered a little bit too. So
Yeah.
it's good.
I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about your last game with WJ now coming into Westminster
Yep.
tomorrow and in Impact play. So what kind of things can you talk to us about Westminster coming in for tomorrow?
Yeah, so Westminster, I think, has a really just well-rounded team. They have two really good post players. One that's pretty real. Both are very versatile from the sense that they can, operate on the perimeter. They can, space the floor a little bit. Some really good post guys with DePietro and Jones. Both different players, so that kind of changes our matchups a little bit and what we can do there. Guard play, Reese Leone's a really good point guard, really strong guy. And sees the floor really well. He's averaging, I think, a little over 4 assists a game, and just a really controlled player. I like him a lot. He was a newcomer of the year when he was a freshman. And then Andrew Clark rounds out their starting five. Another really versatile guy. He's a bigger body. He got a lot bigger over the summer. He's a guy that can kind of bang around with you in the post, but he can stretch the floor too. So they're a really talented team. They're better. Coach Wallace said, we were talking earlier, and they're 0 for 5 on the road, but they're much better than what their record shows. And they know that, and we know that.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, and one thing you guys know this, like with the conference you guys playing in. I mean, there's really good players on every single team.
No doubt.
Yep.
And you could, compete and get wins at any time, but you got to be playing hard and dedicated and doing the best you can, which I feel like you guys have. And I'm really looking forward. I remember, Westminster last year, how, guys really competed, did really well against them. And I think your players should be really antsy, you think, Coach Wallace? After 9 days, listen to your voice and Adam's voice.
Yeah, they are. We had yesterday's practice, we had to pull the plug early just because it's that point, and we've been structuring practice. We're splitting teams up evenly and doing a lot of competition and just because the other thing is you got a game coming up, but we got to keep getting better. As a team, we can't focus on who we're playing. We got to. This group is there's a lot of younger guys. We got to keep instilling what we're about. But there was a point yesterday I was just let's pull the plug on this thing. And
having those 10 days off, and now you'll have a stretch of 3 games, I think, in 6 days. Speak on that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, the positive thing about this stretch coming up is that we're home for all 3 of them. I know tomorrow's the next, the Westminster game is the next one, but it's the biggest one since it's a league game. Then we go back to non-conference, but they're all big to us. It's good to have this the structure right now because you end classes or done with finals, and it gives the competitions every 2 days, and there's something that they have to keep the structure with before they leave for Christmas. So I like the way it's formatted. If we were playing Saturday, not till Thursday, it could kind of get a little disjointed. But so I like it.
Who do we congratulate for making that schedule? You? Or?
Yeah, no. I mean,
I know you brought.
We'll give it. Yeah. So we got Danny Anderson, our new athletic director, is standing here behind. Since we're hanging out at the spot bar to make sure we behave ourselves today. But we'll give him credit for it. He gave us some good pointers putting this schedule together. But then the guys get a nice little break right after the game on Thursday against Penn State Shenango and being able to get home with their families and get a little recharge. Yeah.
Adam, some of our people that watch you guys in games kind of like to know what kind of things you guys do the day before a game. What kind of practices you have the day before the game.
So we don't really take we don't really take our foot off the gas too much, right? We still go through things, but we want guys to feel like they need to be at the top of their game going into tomorrow. So we don't really back off too much on that. It's still, we still do our live stuff and still do our, our defensive group work, which is always physical and competitive. We just don't go quite as long. And we don't, encourage guys to take some of the, hustle plays maybe that they would otherwise getting on the floor and stuff like that. But we don't really, lean up too much on that. As far as the actual structure of practice, it changes because we go into prep. Right, so we'll go through whatever actions we need to worry about guarding and whatever personnel tendencies there may be that we need to look at. So, we spend a little bit more time on that the day before than we would, in the middle of the week or whatever it may be. But it really doesn't. We're not a team that just goes and walks through.
Yeah.
We can't be that way.
Correct.
So, yeah.
No, it is. That's just the way it goes with the way we're trying to play. Is that we have to do things at full speed.
Yep.
And it's you're right. It's a balancing act. It really is. Yeah. So like he said, we still go pretty hard with it, but we got to cut. Practice is not going to be long today.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll come in and have a shoot around. We'll go through some more things. We'll go through more offensive concepts that we want to look to exploit with the way they're going to try to guard us, and get a lot of shots up because we play. It's a doubleheader. All games in conference are doubleheaders, so you get a 25-minute warm up before the game. So we want to make sure they're feeling good, with their shots.
So Westminster's game is going to be in the afternoon. So sometimes you're playing in the evenings on Saturday. Sometimes you're playing afternoon.
Yep.
I guess I'll ask both of you guys this question. I'll ask Coach Wallace first. Do you prefer on a Saturday playing in the afternoon or evening? I'm sure maybe your wife likes the afternoon because she have her rest of the evening to do things. But how about for you? What's your thought?
Tomorrow afternoon's good because the only thing that stinks about this stretch right here, finals ended, so everybody's leaving on campus, so we're not going to have the same energy in that building that we typically would. So afternoon's good tomorrow. We'll still have a nice crowd in there, but honestly, I like Saturday nights when students are here. That's the truth. But
and I don't think any other conference could say that other than Franciscan. Saturday night, you think how many kids want to go to an event Saturday night?
That's a good point. Yeah,
and for you guys, it's just in the beginning, I probably a couple of years ago took it for granted. Now you just know that they're going to be there and they're going to bring up the energy.
Yep.
And you guys, they get that from Coach Wallace and the players. And so, it is going to be different when they're not on campus, sir.
Yeah, and our guys want it. We have to bring our own energy tomorrow, and that it shouldn't matter. And that's what we talked about. Like, we'll go on the road places, and I'll always joke around with our players. We should play this outside. We'll play these anywhere. We'll pull in. And we've been a few places and be like, we should just play out in the parking lot today. Who cares?
Yeah, just come in with your uniforms on. Let's go.
Ready to go. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you play, how many people were there. You get that's like the thing. You work out all the time. You train all summer. You worked on your game. You only get a certain amount of opportunities to compete, so it shouldn't matter who's there, who's watching. You get a chance to compete with your team, so it doesn't matter. It shouldn't.
Coach Martell, how about you? Afternoon, evening?
I'm a prime time guy.
You're prime time.
Give me the 7 p.m. tips, man. Give me the 7 p.m. tips.
7 p.m. tip on OVSO.
I'm a prime time guy. But
prime time.
I just think there's a different energy when you have you have that anticipation all day, and I just think there's a different energy to it. I know the students like it.
And I agree. It's like used to play at the Catholic Community Center, younger days and Saturdays and Sundays at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and get ready to go watch either, Big Red or Central in the evening. And it's something to look forward to there.
Yeah.
Coach Wallace, so, going into the holiday break, what are some of your expectations maybe for your younger players right now to talk about first maybe?
The holiday, the break, not just for younger guys. So you go through it for the first time where you're on campus it's a ghost town, right? So, but you're losing, you lose the social part, you're losing the academics, which is great. But it's basketball and it's a team, right? And going through that the first time can be a little bit of a struggle just because it's that the way it goes, but there's so much more opportunity to grow. And this point in the year usually with our teams is when you start to see even more of a galvanization happening. And there's always been a younger guy that kind of rises through this too because they've gone through that first semester of all their class loads and that's taken off them. And then now they're able to kind of, step up a little bit.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Campus. Just going into tomorrow's game, any players that you feel good about? I'm sure you feel good about all your players, but anybody that you think that have you seen some improvement in some expectations that you've kind of put on somebody going in?
That's a good question.
Because we've always talked about the older and the younger, right? Zimmerman and Butler, and then those role players are really important between those two.
Heck yeah.
You know, when I
That's
look,
a big part of who we are.
you know, in conference play, you got 4 players in double figures, but if you spread your whole season out, you know, you don't have Sawyer and Josh as double figures. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you got the roles like, you know, you got Nick, you know, Alianello was sick last couple weeks. You know, he's feeling good. Seeing him get back to himself, he played well with W&J. Frankie's been, you know, doing a lot of intangible stuff. You know, we keep talking about getting him, you know, more opportunities to get shots off. We need Jan. Jan's, in a different role right now, which is good. We need him to take this next step a little bit. I mean, I'm just going to go down the line a little bit. And, you know, Darrow has been, you know, up and down at times, but he's been pretty solid. And I mean, we feel like going through like this stretch right here, you got a lot of chance to just work on us. So we spent a lot of time just coaching our guys to do our thing. So,
Well, we're really looking forward to the next 3 games. Westminster tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
We'll be here, High Valley Sports Online, at 1 o'clock on Saturday for our women's college game at 1 o'clock, and then our boys here. So thank you, Coach Martello and Coach Wallace.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for listening for High Valley Sports Online. We're here from the Sports Bar.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night. And
That's
thank
nice.
you, Dino.